Please rise for the graduation processional.
Welcome to Auburn's Fall 2016 graduation ceremony. We will begin our ceremony with the presentation of the colors. I ask that all gentlemen please remove your headdress for the presentation of the colors, and during the national anthem, please remain standing. Amanda Anderson, graduating today with degrees in vocal performance and music education, and Jen Lee, graduating today with a degree in vocal performance, will lead us in singing the national anthem. They will be accompanied by Auburn University Graduation Band, conducted by Dr. Rick Good, Director of Bands. Thank you. Retire the colors. Please be seated. It is now my pleasure to introduce Auburn University's president, Dr. Jay Googe.
Good afternoon. Certainly great to be with you today. This is a great day in the life of Auburn University. It's a great day in each of your lives, and I feel honored to share it with you. I want to formally welcome you to the graduation ceremony for 2016. I'm going to introduce some members of the platform party. Others will be introduced later in the program. As I call your name, I would ask that you stand, and please remain standing, and I would ask that the audience hold their applause until all have been recognized. Mr. Bob Dumas, Auburn University Board of Trustees, Dr. Timothy Businger, Provost, Dr. Bobby Woodard, Vice President for Student Affairs, Ms. Gretchen Van Valkenburg, Vice President for Alumni Affairs, Dr. John Liu, Associate Vice President for Research, Ms. Shirley Boulware, Board of Directors of the Auburn Alumni Association, Ms. Maria Bao, an Auburn alumnus, and she'll be our commencement speaker today. She'll be formally introduced a bit later in the program. Ms. Marcia Businger, Associate Dean of the Library, Dr. George Crandall, Associate Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Wallace Berry, Master of Ceremonies and Associate Professor in the College of Agriculture, Dr. Pamela Ulrich, Graduation Marshal, Under Armour Professor in the Department of Consumer and Design Sciences. Dr. William Powell is our mace bearer and Director of Choral Activities in the Department of Music. Dr. James Goldstein, Chair of the University Senate. And Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Wilborn, Commanding Officer, Air Force ROTC. Major Rashawn Steele, Commanding Officer, Army ROTC. Captain Billingsley, Commanding Officer, Navy ROTC. Mr. Rick Smith, Graduation Reader and Lecturer in the School of Communications and Journalism. Mr. Steve Geis, Interpreter for the Deaf in the Office of Accessibility. Let's have a round of applause for these individuals. Thank you. Faculty are at the very heart of any great university, and certainly that is the case at Auburn. They've worked hard to prepare these graduates to be able to achieve their hopes and dreams. I would ask our faculty to stand, and please let's give them a round of applause. Faculty, please stand. Thank you. I'd like to ask the candidates for graduation to please stand. Come on, you're here to get a degree. Stand up, guys. Candidates, let me give you an opportunity to say thank you to those that may have helped you along the way, your friends and relatives and folks that are here today. So a round of applause for folks that are with you. Thank you. Please be seated. To our graduates, we're very proud of you. We value your determination, your sacrifice, your discipline, your intelligence, and that special spirit. You've earned a valuable degree that will help you both personally and professionally. Today you join the special family of Auburn graduates. Since our beginning in 1856, we have awarded more than 300,000 degrees. Today we award 1,947 degrees at the bachelor's, the master's, and the doctoral level. Very simply, congratulations to each one of you. War Eagle.
We are honored to have Maria Baugh here today to join us to deliver our graduation address. Ms. Baugh earned 2 degrees from Auburn, a pre-law degree in 1985 and a journalism degree in 1987. Maria began her career as a reporter in Covington, Georgia, before moving to New York City to begin a very successful career in the magazine editing world. After rising through the ranks at publications like Working Woman's Magazine, Child Magazine, and YM Magazine, in 1977 she joined the launch team for Teen People magazine at Time Incorporated. Teen People was one of the fastest growing startups in magazine history and was awarded a National Magazine Award for General Excellence in 2001, while Ms. Baugh acted as its executive editor. She served the same role at In Style magazine, another Time publication, before moving on to Condé Nast, where she's worked for House and Garden magazine and Glamour magazine. During her time at Glamour, she collaborated with 2 friends to start Butter Lane, an artisanal bakery that also offers baking classes. This side project dovetailed nicely with an opportunity in her publishing career when she joined the Hearst Corporation as managing editor for Food Network magazine in 2010. Ms. Baugh has remained with Hearst Corporation and currently serves as the executive managing editor for 2 popular publications, Cosmopolitan and 17. She has built a career based on tenets of hard work and spirit from the Auburn Creed, making her a great example of an Auburn woman. We are pleased to have her with us today. Please join me in welcoming Maria Bao.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Berry. I think you might have given me about 20 years there. 77. I was 14. I'm just going to say that. That was a lovely introduction, and I appreciate it so much. And I would also like to say thank you to everyone for having me here today, President Gouge, faculty and trustees, graduates and families. War Eagle. It is such an honor to be here today. Actually, it's more than just an honor, it is a shocker. After a bunch of different majors, a decent amount of studying, a little bit of partying, and a couple of degrees, this feels like nothing short of a miracle that I'm standing here before you. In fact, I have to document this, so give me a sec, and you're going to see this on Instagram later. I'm going to do it right this time. All right, here we go. Woo! There we go. Great job, everybody. Thank you. Check it out. All right, I'm done. Let's go to Skybar. No, I'm just kidding. Just a couple of quick stories, then Skybar later. Okay, number one, just a couple of quick stories that I hope will help you. Maybe you'll learn a little something from them. Number one, do the smart thing, not the dumb thing. Your gut knows the difference. I think my first major at Auburn was psychology, but I changed it so many times it's hard to remember. I decided at one point on international business because I thought it sounded like James Bond. I majored in that for about 3 weeks until I figured out that wasn't right. So while I was home during a break, I obsessed over the Auburn catalog, trying to figure out what in the world I should do. I thought for a minute about journalism, but I would only want to work in magazines, which meant moving to New York City, and that seemed completely out of reach. More on that in a minute. So I ignored journalism and decided on pre-law. This was the dumb thing for me. I barely made it through a very challenging constitutional law class and lots of other hard courses. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe in work, hard work. So I got through it, and I was set to graduate in December with plans to go to law school. But as graduation got closer, I started to get a sinking feeling that I'd made a big mistake. A few days before graduation, I went with a friend to Haley Center to check on her grades. Back then, they painted the name of the department in big letters on the wall of each division, and at one point I turned and saw the word journalism, big as life. It was practically yelling at me, telling me that's what I should have done. I should have majored in journalism. I knew it then, and I knew it back when I was going through the catalog that day, but chose to ignore it. So I graduated in December, just like you, and moved back home and planned to start law school in the fall. But as time went on, I realized I just couldn't do it. I did not want to be a lawyer, and so I did the only thing that made sense. I came back to Auburn the following June and started working on a journalism degree. And from the first day of my first journalism class, I knew I'd finally made the right decision. If I had done the smart thing from the start and listened to my instincts, I would have saved a lot of time, grief, and money for myself and for my single working mom, to whom I owe a huge debt of gratitude. So my advice to you is this: always listen to your gut. Don't dismiss it. Don't try to make something work that you feel isn't the right thing. Trust yourself. And this translates to anything you do: jobs, relationships, major purchases, adventure travel. Listen to your instincts. It could save your life. Number 2, make yourself uncomfortable. After getting a journalism degree, thanks to professors like Mickey Logue and the late Jack Sims, I got my first job as a reporter at a weekly newspaper called the Covington News in Covington, Georgia. That's where I met a fellow Auburn graduate who spent months convincing me that we needed to move to New York, where she had done an internship the summer before. Ever since visiting the city when I was young, I'd always dreamed of living there, but it was terrifying. I can't move to New York. I have $300. That's it. I have no job. I don't know a single person. Well, she was definitely moving. She'd already gotten a job, and she told me I could crash on her floor until I found something. I said, okay, I'll move there for a year. I can handle anything for a year. I was really lucky to get an offer from a magazine on my second day in town. But even then, I almost didn't make it past the first 6 weeks. We lived in Flushing, Queens, about 10 minutes from LaGuardia Airport. And every time I'd see a plane fly over, I'd wish I was on it, heading back down south. But I actually did listen to my instincts this time and kept telling myself to stick it out for another week. Then another. I owed it to myself, and I owed it to my friend. Then after just a few months, I realized I was actually having fun. As part of my first magazine job, I got to scout locations for photo shoots. I would ride around town in the back of a fancy black car, stopping to take pictures at places that might be good for upcoming shoots. I could not believe I was actually getting paid for this. But there were some hard parts too. One freezing, windy day in January, I found myself about 40 floors up, standing on the unfinished terrace of an apartment building in Midtown Manhattan. My assignment was to find a location with a unique view of the skyline, and I thought this perspective would be cool for the shoot. This was a fancy building, so the terrace was huge, but there were no guardrails. Haven't put them up yet, said the construction supervisor who escorted me to the site. No problem, I said, before stepping out onto a 40th floor terrace with no guardrails. I inched my way a few feet out and tried to get some shots, but after one gust of wind, I dropped to my hands and knees and crawled like a baby back to the door, threw my camera to the supervisor who trotted out and took a bunch of photos, no problem, while I hugged the wall and tried not to hyperventilate. As scary as it was incredibly exhilarating, and it was about that time that I realized New York was the place for me. So when the opportunity arises to do something awesome but terrifying, do it, even if there are no guardrails. You can change direction later if you need to, but you don't want to regret not going for it and always wonder what might have happened. I got a wonderful education here at Auburn that made my career possible. You're graduating today with an incredibly valuable degree that will open all kinds of doors for you too. Once you figure out what you're meant to do and find the courage to take some chances, you'll be on your way. I'm going to leave you with one last thought. Always find a way to have a big heart. Here's one way. Treat someone who can't do anything for you with just as much respect and kindness as someone who can. I've learned so much from trying to do this, and I know it's made my life a million times more interesting. Another way is to make a point of showing up for the people and things you love. That's why I'm here, because I love Auburn. Auburn made it possible for me to see that there is a ridiculously awesome world out there full of all kinds of fascinating people. Do yourself a favor and get to know them. You won't regret it. Congratulations, and War Eagle.
Thank you, Ms. Val, for your inspiring remarks. We're thrilled to have you here. It is now my pleasure to recognize several groups of students who are graduating with academic honors. First, I would like to recognize those undergraduates who are graduating with honors based on their undergraduate grade point averages. Students with a grade point average between 3.4 and 3.59 graduate cum laude. I ask the cum laude degree candidates to please stand and be recognized. Please be seated. Students graduating with a grade point average of 3.6 to 3.79 graduate magna cum laude. I ask the magna cum laude degree candidates to please stand and be recognized. Please be seated. Students graduating with a grade point average of 3.8 or higher are graduating summa cum laude. Would the summa cum laude degree candidates please stand and be recognized? Please be seated. 1979 marked the beginnings of the honors program at Auburn University. In 1998, the program became the Honors College. Honors College students graduate with either the distinction of University Honors Scholar or Honors Scholar. Would those who have earned this distinction please stand and be recognized? Please be seated. Phi Kappa Phi is Auburn's highest all-discipline honorary, and members represent the top 10% of each college and school on our campus. I now recognize those inducted into Phi Kappa Phi. Please stand. You may be seated. I would also like to recognize our military service members. With those degree candidates who were recently commissioned into our military services, please rise. I now ask all of our active duty service members in the arena and veterans to please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your service to our country. Would Dean George Flowers of the Graduate School please come forward?
Would Charles Zachary Ogles please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the Graduate School, I would like to introduce our Student Marshal, Charles Zachary Ogles, who is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Agronomy and Soils. Charles is from LaGrange, Georgia. Would all candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy please rise? Trustee Dumas, President Googe, and Provost Businger, on behalf of the graduate faculty, it is my pleasure to present these degree candidates for the conferral of their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as a member of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, I do now confer upon each of you the doctor's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. You may be seated. Congratulations and War Eagle.
Part of the tradition associated with the awarding of this degree is a special ceremony involving the presentation of a doctoral hood. Would the major professors of the doctoral candidates please escort your graduate to the stage to be hooded as Professor Smith calls their name? Members of the Registrar's Office will direct you to the stage.
Dr. Charles Zachary Ogles, hooded by Elizabeth Gertald. Dr. Charles Benjamin Farrow, hooded by James Whitty. Dr. Paul Wilson Holly, hooded by Dr. Whitty. Dr. James Clinton Stockton, hooded by Dr. Whitty. Dr. Wei Ji, hooded by Henry Knukin. Dr. Lisa Eve Henning, hooded by Gretchen Oliver. Dr. Ni Zhang, hooded by Kathy Lawrence. Dr. Adam Charles McGee, hooded by James Grocia. Dr. Lynn Rigsby Gonzalez, hooded by David DiRamio. Dr. Lanessa Lene Clark, hooded by Victoria Cordulo. Dr. Christopher Thomas Wyckoff, hooded by Carrie Andreski. Dr. Marcia Adele Webb, hooded by Teresa McCormick. Dr. Ahmed Hafaz Ahmed Al-Swad, hooded by Rex Dunham. Dr. Yuen Lu, hooded by Michael Green. Dr. Ahed Mohammed Cliffet, hooded by Dr. Green. Dr. Khalid Ayan, hooded by Dr. Green. Dr. Shraddha Rege, hooded by Ramesh Jagannathan. Dr. Yeru Lee, hooded by Kevin Huggins. Dr. Whitney Alexis Gender, hooded by Wisuk Kwan. Dr. Bradford J. Griffin II, hooded by Norbert Wilson. Dr. Blaise Cynthia Ndede Hurizene, hooded by Dr. Wilson. Dr. Togo Mohamed Traore, hooded by DQ Fields. Dr. Jeffrey Nathan Zile, hooded by Carol Johnston. Dr. Alicia Sumbry Lyles, hooded by Linda Searby. Dr. Mary Rickles Patton, hooded by Ellen Reams. Dr. Emily Humphrey Grace, hooded by Dr. Reams. Dr. Sharon Size Weldon, hooded by Dr. Reams. Dr. Denise Simons Peppers, hooded by Marilyn Strutchins. Dr. Shelley Ann Davis, hooded by Kevin Mossholder. Dr. Graham L. Sisson, Jr., hooded by Rebecca Curtis. Dr. Joshua Edward Tershon, hooded by Annette Cluck. Dr. Tennille Renee Gaines, hooded by Randolph Pipes. Dr. Amanda C. Knoll, hooded by Dr. Pipes. Dr. Romero Rain Hufstead, hooded by Dr. Pipes. Dr. Claudia Ann Bryan, hooded by Nancy Berry.
Please join me in congratulating these new doctoral graduates. Now, would all the candidates for master's and specialist degrees please rise? Trustee Dumas, President Googe, and Provost Businger, on behalf of the graduate faculty, it is my pleasure to present these master's and specialist candidates for the conferral of their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as a member of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, I do now confer upon each of you the master's or specialist degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. Congratulations in War Eagle. You may be seated. The graduates will come forward as Professor Smith calls your name, and members of the Registrar's Office will direct you. War Eagle.
Richard Parsons, Jr. Johann Manning III. Brian Adams. Lieutenant Matthew Kirby. Paul West. Captain Benjamin Abbott. Lucy Johnson. Jessica Kinnemer. James Plaster. Thomas Lyles. Weston Coker. Lorena Galloway. Ari Amliawi. Matthew Tubbs. Haley Barnett. Matthew Bolt. Eric Ezel, Ethan Lawley, Amanda Blair Till, Katrina Billups, Nicole Curtis, Stephen Kitchens, Price Derrick, Sean Powers, Christy Dunham, Robert Ziama, Eric Allison, Theodore Hilton, Dustin Worden, Brian Simpson, Casey Lambert, Lauren Munnerlin, Michael Stokes, Joseph Battles, Lindsay Black, Kara Brenner, Yana Liu, Shirio Gandasamita, Ruben Cresseldi, Aaron Marks, Heath Wesley, Nam Nguyen, Amelia Williams, Alexis Davis, Amy Archer, Siti Ilhamidin, Andrew Coleman, Adrian Pekarsik, Caleb Fuller, Erica McDaniel, Sarah Allen, Stephanie Thomas, Emily Gaines, Siddhartha Yamalakanda, Zachary Hupy, Nick DeShera, Catherine Thornberry, Kelby Bergering, Taylor Jennings, Keisha Harris, Bethany Beats, Jerry Lynn Martin, Joshua Adams, David Jeffrey, Michael Thacker, Catherine Graff, Megan McDaniel, Jonas Brocard, Matthew Kozub, Tashila Williams Townsend, Spencer Sewell, Alexandria Massey, Haley Gherkin, John Summers III, Nicholas Hayes, Joseph Shaman, Brian Stewart, Kurt Sasser, Micah Pelham, Kendall Bryant, Angela Scarborough, Ashley White, Karen Bridges, Elizabeth Daniel, Darcy Richburg, Blessing Adamakoya, Hannah Taylor, Nancy Weaver, Erica Williams, Catherine Wolf, Tyler Rice, Will Haynes, Amanda Bradford Fennell. Dominique White. Chin Lee. Stephanie Koloff O'Neill. Shiver Karki. Lauren Ashley Whaley. Xavier Dampier. Ching Chen. TJ Davis.
Please join me in congratulating these master's graduates. We now come to the conferring of the undergraduate degrees. Mr. President, the deans of the colleges and schools will come forward and present the candidates who have been approved by the faculty for the recommended degrees. The candidates of each college and school will stand when presented and then be seated. Associate Dean Amy Wright, College of Agriculture.
Would Evelyn Elizabeth Smith please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the College of Agriculture, I would like to introduce our student marshal, Evelyn Elizabeth Smith, who is receiving degrees in agronomy and soils and horticulture. Evelyn is from Roswell, Georgia. Would all degree candidates from the College of Agriculture please rise? Trustee Dumas, President Gouge, and Provost Businger, on behalf of the faculty in the College of Agriculture, it is my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the bachelor's degree.
Please be seated. Dean Bill Hardgrave, Raymond Harbert College of Business.
Would Lauren Elizabeth Porter please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the Raymond J. Harbert College of Business, I would like to introduce our student marshal, Lauren Elizabeth Porter, who is receiving a degree in supply chain management. Lauren is from Brentwood, Tennessee. Now, would all degree candidates from the Raymond J. Harbert College of Business please stand? Trustee Dumas, President Gouge, and Provost Businger, on behalf of the faculty in the Raymond J. Harbert College of Business, it is my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the bachelor's degree.
Please be seated. Dean Betty Lou Whitford, College of Education.
Would Aline White please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the College of Education, I would like to introduce our student marshal, Aline White, who is receiving a degree in Rehabilitation and Disability Studies. Aline is from Madison, Alabama. Would all degree candidates from the College of Education please rise? Trustee Dumas, President Gouge, and Provost Businger, on behalf of the faculty in the College of Education, it is my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the bachelor's degree.
Please be seated. Associate Dean Susan Hubbard, College of Human Sciences.
Would Jane Catherine Hill please stand? On behalf of the faculty in the College of Human Sciences, I would like to introduce our student marshal, Jane Catherine Hill. who is receiving a degree in apparel merchandising, design, and production management. Jane is from Auburn, Alabama. Would all degree candidates from the College of Human Sciences please rise? Trustee Dumas, President Gouge, and Provost Businger, on behalf of the faculty in the College of Human Sciences, it is my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the bachelor's degree.
Please be seated. Associate Provost Constance Relihan, University College.
Would Jacob William Health please stand? On behalf of University College, I would like to introduce our student marshal, Jacob William Health, who is receiving a degree in interdisciplinary university studies. Jacob is from Homewood, Alabama. Would all degree candidates from University College please rise? Trustee Dumas, President Gouge, and Provost Businger, on behalf of University College, it is my pleasure to present these students for the conferral of the bachelor's degree.
Please be seated.
Will all candidates for the bachelor's degrees please stand? By virtue of the authority vested in me as a member of the Board of Trustees of Auburn University, I do now confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and obligations thereunto pertaining. You may be seated. Congratulations to each of you and War Eagle. You will now come forward by your college or school to be introduced by Professor Smith. Members of the Registrar's Office will direct you to the stage. Thank you.
The College of Agriculture, Interim Associate Dean Amy Wright. Carrie Fevitt. Jesse Nichols. Seth Blair. Maggie Ferguson. Kayleen McCafferty. Cheyenne Briette. Marshall Childers, Robert Ellis, Zachary Smith, Joseph Olvey, Cooper Flood, Alexander Smith, John Penny III, Connor West, Alicia Herford, Abigail Johnston, Daniel Williams, Christopher Knight, Garrick Moultrie, Island Lee Anderson, Brianna Fitzsimmons, Rebecca Oliver, Rebecca Tobias, Alexandra Embach, Reagan Elmore, Evelyn Smith, Anna Thurman, Austin Holland, Sarah Ann Jackson, Emily Thompson, William Walker, Samuel Bailey, Matthew Pounds, Davis Bryant, Ryan Christopher, Adam Butler, Cameron Thompson, William Bondarenko, Mercedes Muldoon, Marissa Estrada, Jenny Isham, Madison Glasgow, Olivia Wright, Caitlin Heidenreich, Sierra Wilkinson, Abigail Bruce, Wando Anwa, Hannah Kittrell, Colleen Skelton, Chloe Sutton, Carol Florida, Erin Bacher, Megan Baker, Satori Smith, Daniel Williams Jr., Daniel Butler, Brittany Daniels, Brantley Jones, Davis Todd, Micah Warren, College of Education, Dean Betty Lou Whitford, Bethany Mitchell, Catherine Hood, Breland James, Jacob Phillips, Haley Peterson, Colin Wall, Wesley Baker, Hannah Gibbs, Kelsey Bogards, Justin Bernard West, Lindsay St. Hilaire, Michael Schultz, Haley Downs, Jennifer Giddens, Lauren Ward, Jennifer O'Neill, Richard Edwards, Rachel Canada, Tyler Butler, Alex Johnson, Amanda Anderson, Aline White, Alyssa Armstrong, Katie Oliver, Kristen Peacock, Michelle Zack, Autumn Rager, Allison Pounds, Ashley Bonovich, Lee Ellen Morrison, Hannah Noling, Mackenzie Ezell, Celeste Brady, Hannah Shelton, Leah Moss, Jessica Sullivan, Anna Byers, Jenny Radford, Isabel Brennan, Ensign Mary Feeney, Ryan Gimble, Andrew Solorzano, Reginald Rogers, Christopher Van, Ryan Crane, Francis Pittman, Second Lieutenant Philip Smith. Jacob Lishnak. Jason Boyles. Alyssa Gentry. Leanne Newcomer. Megan Barnett. Armando Caceres. Spencer Smith. Amani Caesar. Andrea Saunders. Rachel Breslin. Sarah Lynn Lowry. Abigail Fraschilla. Caleb Covert. Tiffany Hall. Sydney Days. Melanie Tittle. Lucas Puck. Ted Cook. Camden Peavy. Blake Lofton. Hannah Barnett. Olutomi Obibi. Jamie Shepard. Blake Brown. Daniel Hills. Walker Candler. Peter Atkins. Stanton Truitt. Damian Lewis. Megan Rowell. Hannah Devani. April Scott. Marissa McCormick. Hannah Smith. Caitlin Rogers. Jemariah Mark Elijah Clark. Jonathan Warren. Katie Ham. Audra Welch. The University College Associate Provost Constance Relihan. Jacob Helf. Brent Quick. Matthew Moody. Matthew Griffith. Rachel Gunther. William Campbell IV. Megan Lacey. Rachel Wilkes. Samuel Price III. Corizon Karina Dunn. Mary Mason McWhorter. Shelby Prestridge. Andre Christian Johnson. Alexandra Little. Casey Wright. Robert Schuler. Montravius Adams. Jonathan Rudy Ford. Jeremy Johnson. The College of Business Dean Bill Hartgrave. Minnie Bryant. Cameron Bridges. Thomas Speltz. Taj Shamsi Dean. Matthew Mejia. Torin Matthews. Eugene Sharapov. Gregory Huddleston. Jalen Goodwin. Austin Arias. Kaylin Reynolds. Connor Lewis. Rachel Land. Grant Wood. Austin Wood. Charles Luckridge. Samuel Sullivan. Kenneth Digman. Abby Brazel. Chelsea Jordan. Tanya Gainsford. Lauren Porter. Brittany Kreitmeyer. Tanner Smythe. Austin Shiver. Thomas Jelinek. Kimberly Seals. Stephen Thornberry. Joshua Dees. Sloan Barwick. Kaylee Wilkes. Christina Shea. Luke Clark. Katarina Breffel. Rachel Ware. Brandy Jennings. Stacy Sims. Anna McCarthy. Isabella Sanchez Navarro. Cody Jarrett. Western Dickerson. Nicole Sterling. Paulina Giroux. Hal Riviere. Hayden Hendrick. Patrick Kirk. Connor Black. Bernard Holman III. Taylor Schill. Haley Hawkins. Madeline Kaiser. Amber Wilborn. Olivia Martin. Nicholas Chapek. Connor McNamara. Mark Anthony Durgan. Terrence Grogan II. Luke Carlson III. Zachary Smith. Matthew Webb. Lucas Norris. Austin Howard. Namkisia Karale and Katian Kojo. Jimbly Mark Kojo. Jeremy Lucas. Kyle Savage. CU1. John Juan. Masoud Torbenajad. Ashley Hall. Wesley Bowden. Michaela Creighton. Alexandra S. Ryan Johnson, McLean Wheeler, Caitlin Finke, William Anderson, Eric Mahone, Tyrone Rice Jr., Joshua Casarota, Riley Smith, Ensign Xavier Davis, Ensign Paul Powers, Joseph Van Duren, Arthur Franklin Mendez Fio, Li Xiao, Ling Shi Wu, Ying Xiao, Jing Chao Ge, Zhen Li, Jin Hei Bai, Stian Funk, Brittany Erdeman, Megan Rush, Stephen Truneck, Oswaldo Seiler, Leela Hall, Selena Spurgeon, Matthew Burby, Daisha Waddell, Jeremiah Austell, Ashley Farish, Paula Walker, Ashley Dykus, Kaylee Elliott, Robert Edwards, Rocky Gibson, Thomas Parker Pettit, Robert Asa Winchester, Peyton Renner, Jackson Berry, Wesley Norton, Joshua Melton, Sarah Hall, Rachel Hoffman, Hunter Smith, Jennifer Mayo, Wilson Hood, Kelsey Self, Hunter Buck, Ian McCommon, Eric McGuire, Haley Williamson, Ashley D'Olimpio, Braxton Betts, Samuel Bales, Alexander Roth, Mason Presley, Tyler Gamble, Bradford Hosking, Ann Miller, Jack Kaiser, Aaron Orr, John Pruitt, Michael Cusumano III, Felipe Casafranco, Jackson Moore, Damian White, Hamza Al-Qudaydi, Mary McCall, Catherine Hawkins, Lauren Harrison, Megan Bell, Evan Herndon, Mary Hannah Winstead, Melissa Hill, Natalie DeFrank, Lori Ashley Brown, Christopher Holsey, Jordan Reynolds, Christian Herbert, Alexander Plexico, Laura Lacey, John Michael Langford, Dhruv Patel, Hannah Dean, Marshall Wickersham, Madison Ennebeck, Dorothy Dickman, Elizabeth Kelly, Austin Day, Cameron Lowry, James Hogue III, Hanslin Hall, Anthony Miller, Joshua Simmons, Edward Banks Martin, Nathan Palmer, Michael Waldrum Jr., James Stevens, Jack Singer, Joseph Hansen, Brant Bishop, Tyler Citrullo, Richard McBride, Ross Hensler, Paul Lavoie, William Tortoris, Brandon Shirley, Bruce Avery Jr., Wilson Wright, Nicholas Owens, Nathan Nelson, Tanner Johnson, Samuel Bogosian, Connor Shore, Thomas Mercado, Jacob Williamson, Benjamin Ridgway, Kelsey Sumner, Anna Garovi, Ellen Cates, Stephen Zacharias, Zachary Waterman, Shane Mulqueen, Joshua McCaw, Micah Waters, Cameron Palmer, Joseph Farris, Bowman Ibsen, Robert Berner III, Alex Schatz, Hudson McGraw, William Watkins, Galvin Gray, Joe Rodriguez, Daniel Lane, Eric Smotherman, David Gibson, Patrick Ryan, Tate Yawn, Keelan Drake, Andrew Farrell, Cohen Green, Taylor Schwartz, Zachary Hornady, Ryan McCain, Yates Norris, Thomas Miller, Lindsay Mattis, Melvin Gray, Trevor Vuno, the College of Human Sciences, Associate Dean Susan Hubbard, Catherine McKenzie, Jordan Wilson, Regina Romero, Laura Purcell, Mary Cameron Taylor, Savannah McDonough, Savannah Nichols, Latilia Galat, Brianna DePalmo, Natalie Petty, Kelsey Warren, Amanda Thompson, Emily Barrows, Caitlin Harper, Jesse Place, Meredith Allison, Kelsey Walker, Martha Mercer, Leslie Dudley, Caroline Miner, Olivia Still, Lauren Watley, Catherine McKenzie, Megan Jones, Riley Pittman, Jane Hill, Hung Sik Wan, Scott Youngman, Judson Koss, Aaron Freeman, Megan Dillon, Jordan Ziverink, Madeline Jenkins, Catherine Campbell, Alexandra Fernandez, Amanda Hom, Mary Petrick, Paige Winsness, Megan Milam, Erin Frazier, Haley Ellingsworth, Jessica Eit, Armand Maminpour, William Bryson, Lindy Olive, Natalie Sapansky,
Graduates, you are now part of the Auburn alumni family. Ms. Shirley Boulware will offer greetings to you from the Auburn Alumni Association. Please welcome Ms. Boulware.
Thank you, Dr. Berry. Good afternoon, and War Eagle. On behalf of the Auburn Alumni Association Board of Directors, we would like to congratulate all graduates and parents today on achieving an important life milestone. Each of you took distinct paths to arrive at this point in time. Hard work, dedication, resilience, and support of family, friends, faculty are what you all have in common and have earned you your degree. Reflect and cherish this moment. It is my honor and privilege to speak to you today because in 1991, I was sitting where you are and wondering what the future held. What was my next goal to achieve? What challenges would I face? But I realized I already had the foundation to accomplish whatever I needed. I was part of the Auburn family and would have a network of support no matter where in life I went. Today, you leave this arena as Auburn alumni and join over 230,000 men and women who have graduated from Auburn University. Professional, technical, athletic, business and community leaders, neighbors and friends in cities and towns and communities throughout our great nation. Would all Auburn alumni please stand and be recognized? Includes you too. Thank you. You may be seated. The men and women of Auburn family display shared core values: hard work, honesty and truthfulness, mutual helpfulness, a spirit unafraid, and service to our country. These values should sound familiar because they're taken from the Auburn Creed, which ends in, because Auburn men and women believe in these things, I believe in Auburn and love it. As you spread out across this great country and the world, you will find that truly living the Auburn Creed will set you apart from your peers and allow you to succeed in life and in your career. It's hard for me to believe how fortunate I am to have graduated from Auburn 25 years ago. It's even hard to believe that today my nephew, Deron Frazier, graduated, and I get to encourage him and the entire fall graduating class of 2016 to remain connected to Auburn. Please stay involved with your prospective colleges and become a member of the Auburn Alumni Association. Join one of the nearly 100 local Auburn clubs around the nation where you can participate in young alumni activities and connect with other Auburn alumni and friends in your communities. These organizations not only provide social opportunities, they also raise much-needed scholarship funds to help the next generation of Auburn men and women. So, be all in from this day forward, not only when we're cheering on our athletic teams to victory, but for supporting future Auburn men and women. I'm so proud to share this day with you, and it's truly my hope that you will always believe in Auburn and love it. Once again, congratulations, God bless, and War Eagle.
Thank you, Ms. Boulware. As we conclude our ceremony, it's important that we recognize those who have made this day possible. Please join me in thanking Auburn University's graduation committee and all those who have worked to make this graduation ceremony a success. And finally, graduates, thank you for choosing Auburn University. It's been our pleasure to serve you as educators, mentors, and I hope as friends. May you experience a truly successful life. You may now, and I love saying this, you may now turn your tassels to the left. Congratulations, War Eagle. We will conclude our ceremony with singing of the alma mater led by Amanda Anderson and Jen Lee. Would everyone please stand and remain standing until the platform party, faculty, and the new doctors have recessed from the arena. You may drop off your cap and gowns as you exit to your right. Please rise.
Proudly stand.